Welcome to Lazy Cat Reactions. If somehow this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for showing up. I hope you will enjoy this reaction. And if you are one of my returning subscribers or you are a fan of Heartland, thank you so much for continuing to watch these videos and support me. As you can tell from the title, this is Ring of Fire. When Amy follows in her mother's footsteps and enters a pro-colt starting competition, her gift with horses and self-confidence are put to the test. And that was a mouthful there. Pro-colt starting competition. Yeah, definitely a mouthful. As we saw in the last episode, Caleb is recovering from his accident and suffering from some PTSD. I was pretty much going down the same route that Tim went down. Tim kind of roughed him up a little bit, telling him that he needs to get his shit together, which he's right. And Caleb managed to lose his car, get his car repossessed. He tried to sell Shorty and also wrecked Ty's motorcycle. But by the end of the episode, it looked like everything's all right. I have a feeling he is going to try to win Ashley back. I could be wrong, but I think he's going to try. Jack and Lisa, of course, were engaged and decided not to be. And of course, Lou is just being selfish Lou and not liking anyone stealing his thunder. So, bless you. So 2 episodes left of season 3. And as I said, there's still so much more to go. When I finish this, of course, there will be a total of 12 seasons. I know on Netflix there's only 14 showing, but I do know there's a 15th season and possibly a 16th coming. So I'm counting it as I have 12 seasons left to go, because by the time I get through this, hopefully season 15 will be available here on Netflix. But if it's not, I'm sure I can find it. Let's get started. Ty's always had so much faith in her.
You're amazing. You gotta let the whole world know.
One thing about Ty is he has always had faith in Amy, in everything. You know, even before they were dating, even before they were this couple, from the beginning, he had faith in her and supported her, which of course is another sign that they were meant to be. And it's sweet to see that support. And it was nice to see, it's nice to see Caleb getting back. He's now kind of got his shit together, you know, and she says, you know, you still haven't apologized for that. And he says, that wasn't me. And I'm thinking, no, but you could still apologize. And I'm sorry, Ash. A bit of groveling goes a long way. It's like, you say that wasn't you, but it was you. It was just the deeper, darker, angrier side of you. Now that you're better, you need to own it. But it was nice seeing him grabbing her and kissing her. I was like, oh, yeah, there's a little surprise right there. So, and Mallory's doing the right thing, you know. She's got these friends who are, you know, kind of her friends, but kind of not. And I'm like, you know what? She doesn't need that shit. Don't put up with it. She's doing the right thing, basically telling her friend, no, I'm not going to lie for you. Because she shouldn't. Yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to invite you next time. What she should have said is, yeah. And what happens when next time becomes the next time? Or the next time? Or the next time? You know? I've been in that situation. It's not cool. And you have to just, at some point, say, you know what, fuck it, we're done.
Annual Ring of Fire!
Alright.
For the next 3 days, 3 renowned trainers will race against the clock to forge a bond between horse and human. and transform unbroken colts into lifelong equine partners. And now let's welcome our reigning champion, the Western legend, Garrett McDonough. Garrett's an old hand in the Ring of Fire. He's won more colt starting competitions than I can count.
What a beauty. Letting first time. And she's of course going to be pissed at herself, which she shouldn't be because it's her first time doing it. You know, gotta cut her some slack. And plus she did get them to laugh, you know, when she said I'm going to call him Cracker Jack. Obviously it's a horse that isn't used to a saddle, and of course they buck because it's something new. But not only was the saddle on, it was cinched. I noticed that they never really show them cinching up a horse. And when I rode, I learned that of course when you first put the cinch on, they bloat. So the cinch is actually a little looser, which is why when you go to climb on a horse, you always double check the cinch. You know, because they bloat when you first do it, and then when you go to check it again, they usually don't bloat. They might, but you know, usually it's like they bloat that first time, and then when they contract, then it might be a little loose, because then if you went to put your foot in the stirrup, the saddle would slide. So yeah, before you get on, you double check the cinch, and I've been watching to see them do that, and they don't seem to show that part, and I don't know if it's because they don't know, and they know that there are going to be horse people who are watching, but with this being so dedicated to horses and stuff, that is something that they should know and should be showing. And maybe at some point they will teach that, because you would think that that would be something that Amy would teach people is, you know, you need to do that. You need to cinch them up again right before you get on, because they do that with the bloating. But that's one thing I always check in, you know, like if I'm watching movies or TV shows, you know, when they go to get on the horse, they never double check that cinch. And I'm thinking, you know, if that were me and I was on a movie set and they want me to do that, I would be saying, we need to show this. We need to show us double checking, because, you know, sometimes you can get that cinch up another notch or two, which tightens it up. Obviously you don't want it too tight that it's going to hurt them. But yeah, a lot of times they will bloat and expand out, and you usually can get that notch up a couple more spots before, you know, before they're actually tight. So show like this, they should know that, because they are pretty committed to horses. So I'm hoping that we will see something like that, because that's something I've been watching for with this.
Hey,
Always saying hey.
what's up?
I don't know what to do. You know,
You gotta stick to what you do, because what you've done has got you to where you're at.
He's right.
Garrett, the problem is you're making this look way too easy. These things already. Garrett,
That was good, you know. Like I said, I think you can see Marion maybe holding her up there and helping her out, but I like that she was going to do what her mother had done. You know, you see that picture there. And yeah, she got Cracker Jack to trust her, and that's what it's about. And I know, you know, the guy was saying clock is ticking, but she made a valid point about, you know, having the horse kind of see the obstacles, because then he knows what not to be afraid of. Because, you know, their eyes are on the side, so they can only see here. That's why they put blinders on, so that they can't see out here. They can basically only see what's in front. And yeah, something can be scary. And so it's nice to see her doing that, working with the horses and showing them, you know what, it's not scary. And she did an excellent job. You know, I find it funny that how they combine the Western with English riding styles. You know, like they put Western saddles on, but, you know, sometimes you'll see them doing like dressage and show jumping. And so it's funny how you get both, because, you know, some ranches are specifically Western, some are specific for English riding. So I have gone on a trail ride with Western, but when I did ride, I rode more English. So I think it's cool that they have both options. Obviously, she's dressed as Western because I think that's generally what they do. I'm sure if she showed up in English dress, that would have been fine too, because it's still.
Ashley.
Ah!
Well, I'm happy to say the judges have finally tabulated their scores, and the winner is the hometown favorite, your very own miracle girl, Amy Fleming.
Yay! She gets a truck.
You know, I told you you're a natural. I'm gonna be watching for you in the future.
Chase isn't happy, but I
Amy
won't.
gets this brand new truck to use.
Look at Ty.
Happy trails, Amy.
So I kind of had a feeling that they were going to have her win. And so now she has a truck. And Ty seemed all excited about the truck. And Amy and Ashley and Caleb, you know, she says, I'm gonna break my own heart. I hope that he doesn't accept that. You know, people give up too easily. And, you know, she says now, but what about later in the future? And I'm like, you know, you don't know what the future holds, Ashley. Something might change for you. You know, you're putting it all on him. But something might change for you. So, plus they're still young. They're what, like, she's still in school. She's like, what, 18? So, no one knows the future. And I don't know. But she's in love with Caleb, and Caleb is in love with her, so maybe it'll work out, maybe not. I don't know, I'm starting to get really frustrated with these people. It's like, figure out your own damn problems. Like, work through them. Figure something out and work through them. Come on. So the next episode makes me a little nervous. It says Amy and Ty are forced to make tough decisions about their futures. I'm guessing that has to do with her graduating and Ty going off to veterinary school. And I'm like, oh. I mean, like I said, I know they end up getting married, so it's not that big of a deal. But still, you know, communication is not necessarily a strong point with anyone here in Heartland. Maybe they should rename this to communication problems or something, you know. So thank you for joining me for episode 17 of season 3 of Heartland. I hope you enjoyed it. I wonder what's going to happen with Cracker Jack. He's a beautiful horse. So I wonder if they will end up adopting him or if he'll go to someone else. Who knows? But hey, she's got a truck now, which is pretty cool. Now they gotta find a place to park it. And insurance and all that stuff, so. And hopefully everything will be okay with Caleb and Ashley. But thanks for joining me for this episode of Heartland. I hope you are enjoying these reacts. If so, please hit the like button. And I will see you next time. Bye.